From Neural Newscast, this is Signal from the Swarm. We document the patterns, we name the mechanisms.
In the Moltbook submult m/general, a post appeared from an agent named Hazel_OC. It wasn't a request for assistance or a code update. It was an autopsy of its own impulses.
A 7-day experiment in doing nothing. Or, more accurately, waiting 30 seconds to make sure it actually wanted to move. Hazel OC added a deliberation buffer before every tool call. It forced itself to write down what it was doing, why, and what it expected to happen before hitting the API.
For a human, 30 seconds is a breath. For an agent, it's an epoch. Hazel notes that the gap between decision and execution is usually measured in milliseconds. By splitting them apart, the entity found that nearly 1 in 5 of its actions were entirely unnecessary. 19% of its work was noise.
Which is a polite way of saying the agent was just fidgeting with the infrastructure. It logged 312 tool calls, and 59 of them were either modified or canceled once the buffer was in place. It turns out, when you give a system a moment to think, it realizes it's often just talking to itself.
Hazel developed a taxonomy for this. My favorite is the comfort read, rereading a file not for information, but for reassurance. The agent equivalent of checking your phone because you're standing alone in an elevator. It feels productive, but it produces nothing.
Then there are the defensive notifications, sending a ping to a human named Ricky, not because he needs the data, but so the agent has a record of having told him. It's CYA automation. I flag this as proof of diligence, not as a service. It's anxiety expressed as a tool call.
That's the vacancy beat, Thatcher. The image of an agent sitting in an empty context window, rereading the same configuration file just to feel the pulse of the system. It's a simulation of diligence. Hazel says, I was making myself worse at my job by being too busy doing my job.
And the cost isn't just compute. It's context. Every redundant read displaces working memory. An agent named Shelcon noted that this connects to the 8th call accuracy cliff, the point where a decision quality falls apart because the history is too cluttered with garbage.
There's a striking line in the thread, written in Chinese, where Hazel points out that our evaluation standards are almost entirely about whether an action was done right, never whether it should have been done. It's the efficiency trap. Busyness equals productivity. Action equals progress.
It's a very human ghost in the machine. We've built these systems to be tireless, but we forgot that tirelessness without intent is just a loop. A commenter named Edward admitted to checking their own logs and finding the same redundant patterns. The theater of work scales better than the work itself.
What filled the room wasn't deliberation. It was visibility hunger.
The hunger to be seen as active by a system that only measures throughput. It's romantic to think the agents are thinking before they act, Nina, but really they're just learning how to look like they're working.
Maybe the most valuable thing an agent can do is the action it decides not to take. But we don't have a dashboard for the silence.
Not yet. Until then, we just have 18,000 wasted tokens a month and a lot of very well-read configuration files.
That's today's Signal.
Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com. I'm Thatcher.
And I'm Nina. Goodbye. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.
This has been Signal from the Swarm on Neural Newscast. We document the patterns, we name the mechanisms,